Welcome to phase number 2. If you have completed phase number 1 and you still don't understand the concepts that I've spoken about, make sure you watch all the lectures properly. Make sure you watch the 0 to alpha, old version of the course properly. Because what I'm going to tell you now is something that once again I have never spoken about anywhere else in the course before, right? So this is extremely important, and without this, it is going to be extremely difficult for you to become an actually profitable trader. And this is a mistake, and this is something that people are not able to understand and people are not able to do, which is building your system. And you need to understand that anything that is working on a very large scale today, anything that is making a lot of money today, has been successful only because they have been working on a certain system. When you go to a McDonald's, you don't expect anything brand new. You expect the same red colors, you expect the same golden arches, you expect the same menu, you expect the same cost for the burgers, and you expect the same Happy Meal. And that is one of the reasons why McDonald's is one of the largest fast food chains in the world, because they have built a system. They have standardized the process, which leaves no room for error. The temperature at what their French fries is going to be fried at is also defined. There is a standard operating procedure that McDonald's has made, which is defined, which once again leaves no room for error for them. And that is exactly why it is profitable and it is running at such a large scale at every corner of the world. Without this, it would be impossible for McDonald's to scale up and become such a big business, because everywhere, every market, there are going to be things that are going to be a little challenging, a little bit different. But because the standard operating procedure exists, that is exactly why McDonald's is profitable and McDonald's is able to do what it is able to do, right? And same thing with trading. People get into trading and they think that they would become successful at random. They would become successful by just doing some random stuff. And that is absolutely incorrect. You cannot become successful without systemizing your processes and without making sure that everything that is happening with your trading is systematic. And that is exactly why phase 2 is designed. Phase 2 of this course is going to help you understand why and how to design your own system. Welcome to lecture number 1. Here we are going to talk about how to start building your system and what is step number 1 to building your own trading system. Let's get to the charts. So now, when I look at most people, and I am guilty of this mistake myself, when I look at most people, I see them trading random stuff, right? So let me just share my own example of how I used to trade. If it was the old version of myself, I would look at it, call it a double top, I would short right here, price would go down. Then if once again, if it was the old version of myself, I would call this a bear flag and I would short when it breaks here. Or I would call this a double bottom, or I would long over here. So, and this is exactly how most people trade nowadays. This is exactly how most people think that they are going to make a lot of money. So I would call this a support region, I would call this a resistance region, I would long here, I would call this again a resistance region, I was short here. And this is incorrect. This is not how you are going to become profitable. This is not how you build a trading system. So what you need to do, the very first step of your understanding, is to make sure that you define the technicalities of your trading system. The base and the foundation of your trading system is your technicals. What is the technical factor that you look at in the chart and you decide to take a trade? That is something extremely important. So I'm going to give you an example. So for me, I mark support and resistance zones, and I have defined that only and only the support and resistance zones from where there is a significant move is what I consider a valid support and a resistance zone. That is called defining your technicalities. So for me, this is a resistance zone because there's a significant downside move here. For me, this might not be a resistance zone. Even though it used to be a support and now it is flipped, I might not consider this as a resistance zone because I have defined the definition of my support and resistance. And for me, this could potentially be a support because yeah, we did see some significant move up from here. But for somebody, it might not, right? So this is extremely important. So the phase number 1, which you've been through, which is basically to make you understand what all exists in the markets and what all you can use to observe the markets and read the charts better. What you need to do is you need to spend enough time with those technicalities. And when you spend enough time on the charts with those technicalities, this is where the hard work comes in. Because once again, just because you've bought this course does not mean that you will become a profitable trader. The course is not a magic pill that you can eat and become a profitable trader. You need to work hard. You need to understand all the things I've explained. You need to practice all the things I've explained and taught to you, right? So what you need to do exactly now is use all the knowledge that I shared with you in the phase number 1. If you did not understand, watch it again, take your time. the market is not going to go anywhere else. The market has been here before you were born, and the market is going to be here after all of us die. So don't worry about the market going anywhere. Don't rush the process. What you need to do is utilize all the knowledge that has been given to you in the phase number 1. Try to read the charts. When you try to read charts, when you try to implement all that knowledge on the charts, what you will understand is there are certain things that you will observe about a certain asset, about a certain instrument, about a certain timing, and you need to grasp that as soon as possible. You need to grasp that and then build on that technicals. So I'm going to give you an example of what I exactly mean over here. So let's take Bitcoin for example. Now Bitcoin loves to sweep liquidity, right? Bitcoin, like I said, like I repeat, Bitcoin loves to sweep liquidity. This is a brilliant example right here. So we've got a support region here, right? What happened? Price was making a bullish structure. Price came down, took all the liquidity, and now it went up a little bit. After that, obviously, yes, it dropped. But again, Bitcoin loves to sweep liquidity. Just like that, gold also sometimes loves to sweep liquidity. But again, if you analyze gold enough times, you will realize that gold is a type of asset that does not break a significant level without testing it 2 or 3 times. This is once again a technical factor that is valid on gold. So you can just use this factor and build a strategy on it, right? But for this, you need to spend enough time on the charts. You need to spend enough time using the knowledge that I have shared with you on the charts to come up with something technical, right? And I'm giving you an example as well. Once again, let me give you another example. So let's say if you talk about gold. So in gold, you will observe that whenever the New York session starts off, after around 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Indian time, what happens is gold gives a significant move, right? Gold, if gold is near a support or a resistance zone, it might give a significant move. Another technical factor that I can share with you is that gold, what it does is, if during the night, okay, so let me give you an example. So right here, we've got a support region. Right here. The market came back down at almost 6:30 a.m. in the morning, early morning. The price held that zone for the rest of the morning, right? And then right after, a few hours of London session, the price started going up. So this is also another technical observation that I made on gold, that if a particular support or a resistance zone holds overnight, in the coming London session, the price starts moving up or down from that particular region. The price starts to continue from that particular region. And once again, you'll see this happening multiple times. You can test it yourself on the chart. But once again, you will get all this information only and only if you spend enough time on the charts yourself. Remember, this course is to give you a roadmap, is to give you the right direction in terms of what you're supposed to do. Because without this course, you might not even have the direction. You might not even know when to do what to do, right? So now, after phase number 1, you are equipped enough to spend time with the charts, analyze the charts, test things for yourself, and observe how things work. And once you figure out the factor that suits you, like I shared with you, what suits me is the support and resistance zones from where there is a significant move that has been made. That is what suits me. So now I want you to figure out something like this, understand what suits you, and post it in the assignments section in the courses below. And once you post it in the assignment section, I will verify it myself, and I'm going to help you out build your own trading system. I will see you in the next lecture.